Welcome to Planning for Instruction. I'm Cynthia Albee, and I'm going to be your professor for this course. Let me tell you a little bit about what this course is. You might know that our motto for our College of Education is Architects of Change, and I take that really seriously. My hope is that this course will set you on your way to becoming an architect of change in education. And specifically, we're going to look at some things like design thinking and how that can be applied to course design. And we're going to look at something called backward design that looks at how to design whole courses. And within a whole course, you would have, a series of unit plans, and then each unit has a series of lessons beneath that. And we're going to be looking at that big picture of how do you do that? How do you create courses? How do you create units? Um, so we're kind of coming at it at that big picture level in this course. And we're going to look at one excellent example of a way of structuring a course. It's not the only way, but sometimes it just really helps to see one way that really works well. And so we're going to be looking at the Thinking Classrooms model. So I think you're really going to like that. It's really interesting. It's a model I use. Good news, I am like literally an expert in course design. That's what I've spent my career working on. I have a book about it. This is not the book we're using for the course. This is a book I used. I made it for college professors to help them design better courses. And I'm also an expert in AI. And I've been, for the last couple of years, traveling nationally, talking all over the country about the use of artificial intelligence in education. Probably a lot like you, there are things that I love about AI. There are things that I hate about AI. But we're going to be using it a good bit in this course because I think it's important that you understand it. Something that I really emphasize in every course I teach is how to learn. We know that generally when people learn something, they lose about half of what they learned within 2 hours and 2/3 of what they have learned within 24 hours. And often they remember very little within a month to 2 months later. And I don't want that to happen to you. Why go through all the work of a course only to forget the majority of it? So let me talk for just a moment about what good learning looks like. Reading will get you about 10% of the way to actually knowing something and being able to use it. 10% of the way. And yet, a lot of people, that's what they do. They just read. And at the time they're reading it, they're like, I will remember all of this. And it's just not true. So, what if you read and highlight? That helps. Highlighting is going to take you about another 10% of the way. Now we're at 20%. That's not great. And yet, for the vast majority of high school and college students, that's pretty much what they do. Sometimes then they reread, which really doesn't do much at all. Yeah. So if you read and highlight 20% of the way there, okay, but not great. It turns out if you add some pre-questions, if you have people answer some questions about what they're about to read, even though they haven't read it yet, that takes you an additional 20% of the way there. Isn't that crazy? So if you read and highlight and answer pre-questions, you're at 40% of the way there. Better, still not great. What really takes you over the finish line is adding two other things. One is elaborating on what you just read or listened to or watched. And that means commenting, writing down things like how you can connect what you just read to your life, asking questions about it, thinking about how you might apply it. All that does so much to actually make the learning stick. That's going to take you another probably 30% of the way there. Ooh, now we're at like 60% of the way there. How do you get it all the way there? Like pretty much a 100% chance that you will actually remember what you learned. That's through reviewing and applying. That's going to take you like that last 40% of the way. And so I'm going to make sure that every module you do for this class has you do all of those things. Read, highlight, answer pre-questions, elaborate on what you're reading, review and apply what you've read so that years from now, this information will still be sticking with you. That's my goal. And it would be nice if there was some shortcut, but there is no shortcut to building your brain any more than there's a shortcut to building your muscles. You can't like pay someone else to exercise for you. The only way to really do it is to put in the work. And that's true of your brain because while your brain isn't building a muscle, it is building, like literally when you learn, you are building connections in your brain and you're building connections between neurons. And the only way to do that is to work at it. It takes real effort. More effort equals more knowledge and skills that you can use forever. So is this class going to be hard? It kind of is. I mean, I don't think hard is the right word. It's just going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be, I think you'll find extremely practical work because I'm going to be asking you to create things that you will use in your classroom, and it's going to be inspirational work. So even though it is a lot of work, I think it's work you will appreciate. If that's freaking you out a little bit, don't panic. That's like my mantra. Don't panic. I'm here to help. The logistics for this class are a little tough at first. I totally get that. Just part of putting together an online course that really does something is it's just hard. It's going to require that you get pretty adept at using some apps like there's one called Perusall. We're going to use one called VoiceThread, and we're going to be using Google Docs a lot. And of course, AI. That's if you're not feeling strong about technology, that's a lot of things. But I'm here to help. Anytime you need to, I'm going to, get on Zoom with you and lead you through the process if that's what you need to help you get this. I'm going to be there. And I also want you to know that over the course of the semester, you've got 3 passes, and each pass will give you a week extension on a module. So just know that that's there. I know that life sometimes kind of gets in the way of good planning. So those are there when you need them. You just drop me an email. You don't even have to tell me why. Just say, that thing that's due tomorrow. I need a extension. I'm going to use one of my passes. Finally, I want to tell you that I've got a Zoom meeting planned for 7 p.m. on Monday, June 9th. And that is going to be where you could ask questions about this course. So it's only going to last like 15 minutes. I vote you just come to that Zoom. Even if you don't have questions, I bet you'd be interested in hearing what questions other people have. At that point, if anyone wants to see me demonstrate something, I'm happy to do that. So maybe right now, before you do anything else, just put on your calendar, Monday, 7 p.m., hop on the Zoom, and I'll get you up and started. Welcome. Glad to have you here.